What is up, casuals, and welcome to the Casual Wrestling Community Show, where each and every week I sit around this table with a few casual wrestling friends and talk about pro wrestling. Today I am joined by my better half, the Loose Cannon LevelUp Lauren.
What's up, y'all?
And also joining me today, the man who brought me into this world, Les the Legend Low T.
Hola.
Hey, I like my new thing, the Loose Cannon.
The Loose Cannon.
I like it a lot.
You like it? You're a Loose Cannon.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
I have to censor you on the Champ and the Chick now.
That's okay.
The things that come out of your mouth. And I know you're no better. There's going to be a lot of editing when y'all are on.
Well see.
Yeah, but
You're on your best behavior?
I'm on my best behavior.
You got thrown off
I got my meds. So.
You got thrown off the last podcast.
I did. But I got my meds now.
And then hopefully Josh, I'll give him a good nickname. And he'll show up next week.
Yeah.
We didn't give him enough time this week.
He was the beaver hunter last time.
Hey, did you plan on matching with me?
Did I plan? I didn't plan on matching, no.
I like it, though.
Yeah, I just threw on my up, down, down Christmas sweater.
Nice.
If you enjoy the Casual Wrestling Channel and you have a couple of bucks to throw our way, you could do that at the link below in the description of this video. If not, sit back, relax, and chill. We are about to talk a little bit about pro wrestling. So typically, guys, from now on, not this episode, but from now on, I expect you guys to bring a topic.
Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a problem.
I mean, you just started watching. You're my SmackDown correspondent.
Yes. Okay.
I've given you SmackDown. It's a little easier to watch.
That's a lot to carry.
Yeah.
It's a load.
It's only 2 hours.
Okay. No, but
Raw is 3 hours. That's
a lot of responsibility.
That's tough to watch.
Yeah.
A lot of responsibility.
So normally we'd each bring a topic and we discuss the topic for the day. But today we're going to just do a get to know each other episode. Get to know Low T and Lauren a little better. Mm-hmm. So first question I have for both of you guys, because this is the first question I think it's interesting to ask wrestling fans is, when I say professional wrestling, Lauren, what comes to your mind first?
Man panties.
Men in underwear?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the first thing that you think about when I say professional wrestling?
Yes, it is, definitely.
Your brain is an interesting place. What's yours? What's the first thing when I say pro wrestling?
Well, I go back into a different era a little bit. It's chubby guys.
Chubby guys.
Yeah.
Old chubby guys?
Old chubby guys. It gave me identity.
So you last night when we were talking, you told me about you started naming off some wrestlers from your childhood.
Yeah. Yes.
They were all in black and white, brother. I started looking up those videos. They were all in black and white. He said, well, we'll get to his favorites, but
okay.
Yeah, he told me about a bunch of them, and I was looking them up. And as I looked them up, it was a bunch of black and white video.
I go to the days when wrestling came on, and right after wrestling was the Star Spangled Banner, and the TV went off. I mean,
it was just done for the night.
That's crazy.
You're done.
It wasn't going to happen again until 6 o'clock the next morning.
Wait, TV turned off at like 6 o'clock at night?
No, like midnight.
Okay.
Wrestling used to come on right after the news.
And it was like
so
specific.
The news would be end at like 10:30, then wrestling would be from 10:30 to midnight.
And that was specific to your area, right? Like you got Texas-based wrestling.
Yeah. Well, actually, I mean, Texas was
big.
Yeah, it was probably one of the leaders in wrestling. So.
Yeah, because you had, I guess you had like a Southern. And
it wasn't nationwide.
No, well, because didn't the McMahons, they had the Northeast.
Well, yeah, the nationwide happened when there used to be a thing called Saturday Night Special or the Midnight Special.
Okay.
And they
it was like a bigger
brought wrestling into it somehow. So
okay,
that's how it got kind of nationwide.
Cool.
Did not know that.
Different. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, if you can look that up.
I believe you.
What did people do after midnight?
You went to sleep. I mean, that was it. I mean, back in those days, you actually went to bed. And, well, there's worse than that. I mean, cartoons came on only from about 3:30 to 5 o'clock.
That's
crazy. We had Captain Gus, and he had Popeye and
Captain
a few things.
Gus.
Captain Gus. And they came on, and then it was over. There was no more cartoons. There was not like all night.
How many
cartoons.
channels were there?
Three
channels.
Well, 3 and then an educational channel.
Okay. All right.
Watched that. Nobody.
Yeah. And
then early in the morning was Captain Kangaroo.
That's what you woke up to?
Oh,
creepy looking dude.
Yeah.
Was he creepy?
Yeah, probably.
I feel like
in retrospect, he was.
I feel like at one point we went down a rabbit hole talking about Captain Kangaroo.
I think Mr. Green Jeans and him had some.
Mr. Green Jeans?
That was the guy.
Who's Mr. Green Jeans?
He was like his friend.
We're gonna have to do some research on Mr. Green Jeans. So Captain Kangaroo and Mr.
Bunny
Green
Rabbit.
Jeans.
Bunny Rabbit used to slap his face on the counter a lot.
Why didn't
his own face or other people's?
His own face. He would be up there and say, "Buddy, do you want to do this?"
self-destructive little rabbit?
So he was autistic.
Yeah, it was a lot of. Now you know why my age group is so.
I guess it explains some things.
Messed up.
All right, so we were kind of getting into this. Who is your favorite wrestler of all time?
Me?
Yeah, you.
I liked Fritz von Erich, Baron Fritz von Erich. He was like a Nazi kind of. He came out. He had a helmet with a spike on it.
Okay.
He was a bad
Different
guy.
guy.
Definitely.
But then I really liked Wahoo McDaniels, Chief Wahoo McDaniels, which was kind of an Italian guy who.
It was an Italian Indian.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I liked Argentina Apollo because he was just wild.
And that's who you were explaining to me. Argentina Apollo was the original Rey Mysterio. He was flipping around, jumping off,
jumping,
little fast
bouncing
guy.
off of shit. Yeah, he was more of a gymnast. He didn't have a wrestling body at all, even.
But a lot of guys didn't back then, right?
They were more. This is like a little skinny guy. He was like maybe a cheerleader.
Interesting.
And then he went into wrestling, but because it used to amaze me. That's the only way he could get any power over anybody, by launching off of ropes and flipping out of the sky.
So it's like Rey Mysterio.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot like Rey Mysterio. So So where does Dusty Rhodes fall into all of that?
Well, Dusty was
he
a
later?
little bit later.
Okay.
But still, Dusty. Yeah. I never loved Dusty Rhodes. He was not one of my favorites.
I mean, I can understand. I know a lot of people have love for him, but he was kind of a silly.
Yeah, I didn't. He was a goofball. I was always, when it came to Dusty Rhodes and Cowboys versus Wahoo McDaniels,
He was always
Wahoo.
Always Wahoo.
Wahoo did
And
all
the Von
kinds
Erichs.
of things. Well, Wahoo had the war dance that he did and all the.
We're gonna have to watch.
I am.
We're gonna have to watch a Wahoo McDaniel match.
Yeah, then he did the war dance and then the Tommy Hawk chop. Ooh, Tommy Hawk chop. No, that was like his finisher.
I can only imagine what that looked like.
He hit you with a couple of those, you were out. There's them.
A couple. So was it just like a chop on the head?
Well, no, it's a crazy chop. He could come up or under. Or anything.
He had different angles. He could.
Oh yeah, he could do it, and he did it. But first, he got you down, and you kind of laying there, and you might be hurt, or kind of getting up. You're a little woozy, and then you dance around. You do like a rain.
Oh shit!
Oh, that's awesome.
And then he would chop you up a couple. And then
that shit wouldn't fly today.
Then it's over. Covering out.
They would cancel him.
You can't be
covering out, baby. That's
you're not allowed to be an Indian today. Did y'all see the little boy that's in trouble?
Yeah, he's in trouble.
No, why?
What the fuck?
First of all, he had black in the red face. Okay.
What happened?
So they took it. He went to a Chiefs game.
Okay.
He had a full headdress on because it's the Chiefs.
Okay.
He's a fan. He had a jersey on, I think.
Yes.
And then he had his face done like a lot of people with the team colors.
Half red,
right down the middle, half red,
black.
half black. But this reporter took
Deadspin.
a picture of him from just the black side, and they tried to act like
he was in blackface.
A young kid in blackface.
That is so stupid.
But then come to find out,
they wanted the NFL to sanction everybody and throw him out.
But come to find out, he's Native American.
Yeah, he is that too.
So I mean, fuck all that. That's so
crazy.
stupid. Yeah. Like he's obviously in spirit.
He's also 5 years old.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Was he really 5 years old?
5 to 8, I would say.
That's
ridiculous.
I don't know.
I think I read.
He's a little kid at a football game. Clearly, just happens that he chose black and red.
They had him on Fox News today.
Did they?
Yeah, they were interviewing him, but he didn't
dumb.
have his face on.
Let kids fucking be kids.
I agree. It was so stupid.
So stupid.
I don't think I've ever asked you, Lauren. Who are your favorite wrestlers? I have an idea, but I don't know when I get a definitive answer who they are.
It's going to be bizarre.
Okay.
They are going to be bizarre.
So,
it's going to be real weird.
My favorite wrestler goes through phases because just like everything, I change all the time. So initially, remember we started watching wrestling. You took me to WrestleMania. I was like, I don't know who these people are, whatever.
This reminds me of Good Burger.
But I liked
when he asked him how have you been doing, and he literally starts telling the story
from his life.
No, from the minute he last saw him, and it was like 5 years ago.
So
I asked who your favorite wrestler is.
You have to know the whole story.
Go for it.
Okay.
Go for it.
So as soon as we went, It was Randy Orton. I said, I like Randy Orton. He was just like a man, thought he was a
did
wrestler.
like
He looked cool. That was my dude. Then we
Okay.
stopped watching wrestling, right? I hated Roman Reigns. Then we came back into the wrestling game, and Roman Reigns became my favorite wrestler.
Yeah.
Because he was just cool,
Okay.
right? Then I saw Sasha Banks, and I said, no, wait, I like her because of all her pretty clothes. But then she went through that weirdo phase and like disappeared and stuff. So then I thought I really liked Alexa Bliss, right? Because the doll thing and the craziness. But then I've been currently reminded my favorite wrestler of all time is Randy Orton.
So you're back.
I'm back to Randy.
You've come full circle.
I've come full circle back to Randy.
All the way
I think
back
Randy
around.
Orton is like that cousin that everybody has that comes to Thanksgiving. He's a mechanic, but he's not real smart, but he knows a lot about cars. That guy. That's who he reminds me. When I see him, I think of my cousin Joey. I mean, now look, he's not the sharpest knife in the drawer,
But he knows
if you
wrestling.
need to get your car, but if you need your car fixed, absolutely, you trust him. You don't trust him for any life advice or anything.
So Randy, you don't trust Randy with life advice, but if you need to take a suplex,
that's
the guy you're
you
going
want
to.
ask somebody that.
I feel like that's a pretty accurate statement.
So
I
I
do.
So
feel
I never
like-
had that love for him.
Yeah.
So you came all the way back around to. So then this Saturday was a big day for you.
Yes, definitely. I
Took
was
you a
super
while to
excited
figure out
about
why.
it. Yeah, I was like, what happened on Saturday?
It was? What did I do?
Yeah, I really loved the Riddle part, I think is what brought me back into when he was with Riddle.
Oh, Riddle and Orton.
Because I was into them for like a hot minute, but Riddle's crazy, but it is what it is. Yeah, he's just like, to me, he's the epitome of what a manly wrestler is.
That makes sense. I mean, I can go with that.
He's the crazy cousin from Thanksgiving.
Exactly.
I think my favorite wrestlers right now, mine changes quickly. I over adapt. Kevin Owens has always been one of my favorite. Big guy represent for the fat guys. Fat guys, and he has the best personality.
I like fat guys.
You'll get to like Kevin Owens.
He's
As you
funny.
watch SmackDown, you'll learn.
like the
You and
fat
Josh
guys.
will like him. There's nuances to like. You have to pay attention to what he's saying because he's always got some kind of undertone of what he's saying. So I like on SmackDown, I'd say it's Kevin Owens, and CM Punk has always been one of my favorites of all time. So
That's one guy that I followed some.
CM Punk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had interest.
I think he's always gotten kind of the raw end of the news cycle when it comes to shit he's done. I've defended him quite a bit. But other than that, Roman's fine. I don't have a problem with Roman Reigns. I'm starting to like Jey Uso. I think Jey Uso.
He's somebody
Yeet!
I told you the other day, I was like, he's somebody I thought was just going to fall flat. Like as soon as he went on his own.
So it was interesting. The first time he came out on his own, because he's been part of the bloodline, which is the
his brother
the
and
Samoan
stuff.
family for a long time. And finally he broke off and went and did his own thing on Monday Night Raw. And the first night he came out, he looked so nervous and struggled talking. But now that he's comfortable.
I think one of the Usos goes to the dog park with me. It's a woman, but so just so you know.
Don't do that.
Woman.
Don't do that.
I take the
don't do
I think
that.
I got an Uso there.
Jeez. All right, you had a request. You wanted to talk about what's your favorite finishing move of all time?
Well, see, that's tough too because it goes right in line with the guys. Argentina Paulo didn't have one; he just flipped
around and
okay,
got
so
you.
That one, but Fritz von Erich,
Okay.
Baron Fritz, he had the Iron Claw.
Didn't like all of them kill themselves or something?
There's a movie that just came out we need to watch about
Right,
the Von
they
Erich.
killed
Look, the Iron Claw. If you got the Iron Claw,
Was it a full on the head?
it kind of went across the
Across
whole
the face?
It was a cranium buster.
What did he do to you?
Yeah, well, he just glided that in, and he had big old German hands that come
Yeah.
across you.
So he just
And
squeezed
I
Did
think
he
it
really
kind of
squeeze
gave you
their
a
head, though?
concussion and kind of put you out. It's
Gotcha.
just it could either put you into submission or put you to sleep.
Oh, interesting.
So I mean, sometimes it just was so painful they just gave up, and other times he just put them out and they were dead.
And
I
that
don't
was
even know.
always the finish of the match, right?
well for him.
No, I'm saying because I missed
Yeah.
that. Like,
Oh, yeah,
new
he did the Iron
wrestling.
Claw.
New wrestling doesn't always end with a specific
No, if
like
you got
finisher.
the Iron Claw,
you were done. Yeah,
if-
that
if
was
he-
it.
You waited for the Iron Claw and you hoped it came, and most of the time it did. But
And you said Wahoo McDaniels had a chop.
He had the thing, but he did the dance, and it was
he was like The Rock then. Before The Rock, he had like theatrics.
All these guys. Honestly,
Oh, I know.
I see all the guys I see today. They had a forefather in this thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Like you said, Rey Mysterio, Argentino Apollo.
And who you said somebody trained Shawn Michaels? Who was that?
Jose Lothario.
Jose. Okay, so we
He
haven't
was
talked
just
about
like a drunk Mexican dude.
He was just a drunk Mexican.
So he's my
He just
uncle.
lived on the west side of San Antonio.
Did he really?
Oh, hell, I used to run into him in bars all the time. He was just a drunk Mexican that got a good job wrestling.
Hey, man.
Well, he was friends with Joltin' Joe Blanchard, who started
Joltin'
wrestling
Joe
here.
Blanchard.
So Joe Blanchard is
He
you
was
said
Tully Blanchard's dad.
Tully Blanchard's dad, and you'll remember Tully Blanchard from when we were watching.
He
White
went
man?
to Lee
Yeah.
or somewhere, too.
And
What?
was he the guitar guy?
I think Tully Blanchard
No.
went to Lee or...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. He went to
think
our
so.
high school.
Yeah, I think so.
So I should be talking shit about.
Yeah, they were just San Antonio people. They were just, like I said.
I mean, San Antonio has
Jose
deep
Lothario.
roots.
My brother said that he used to work as a teller at Broadway Bank, and Jose Lothario would come in on Mondays with his wrestling check.
Bloody money.
Yeah, he'd have his wrestling check, and he'd deposit his wrestling
That's
check.
crazy. Dude, so San
And his
Antonio-
name was like Juan Guerrero or
So you said-
something. It
Juan.
wasn't even...
Jose Lothario trained Shawn Michaels, and then Shawn Michaels trained, I believe, Bryan Danielson in
Yes.
San Antonio.
Remember, he had this whole big thing that he came out and was like, "I
Yeah.
just want to say thank you."
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy to hear that lineage.
The crazy part is Jose Lothario, I don't think that was his name, but he just created another
Well, I think a lot of wrestlers do that
Mexican
though, right?
name, though. I mean, call yourself the Crusher or something, but he
just went
named
straight-
himself
yeah.
just another name.
hey,
name
a
was
man
like-
of the
But
people.
he had a gimmick.
Juan Cantu or something,
Juan Cantu.
I like when people have like a gimmick. We were looking at some wrestlers the other day, and you couldn't tell who the hell they were because it was just like their naked chest.
Yeah.
Well, everybody had a gimmick in the old
Yes.
days because, first of all, pretty much the costume, Wahoo was one of the few, your costume might be a prop. Like, everybody
Yes.
just wore the little black shorts.
Yeah.
And then, Fritz von Erich had that helmet that had
Yeah.
the, like, knife sticking out the top or whatever that thing is.
Mm-hmm.
Wahoo had a big, long chief,
Yeah,
like
makes
a
sense.
headdress.
But everybody had a
But-
wrestling was like a comic book back
Oh,
then.
yes.
And now it's too based in
Yes.
reality.
We had Grizzly Smith. He wore like
Bearskin?
tore up jeans
Oh,
and a
shit.
and a
Okay.
rope belt.
Okay.
He was like a Beverly Hillbilly kind of guy.
Nice.
We got to find some of this old.
Yeah, all
I wonder
those
where you
guys.
find it at.
It's on YouTube.
On
I
the
found
net.
some of it on YouTube, but we're going to have to put together a roster. We should go into WWE 2K, the video game, and create these guys.
Yeah,
Create a
I
world.
mean, they're definite huge personalities. I mean, you followed these guys, and they were really the beginning of the hard talking. When
Yeah,
they
oh
get
yeah,
on there.
oh yeah.
I'll tell you, brother, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna do that, and I mean, they played to. In today's world, it's too sensitive.
Oh,
you
yeah,
can't
no,
do it
you
'cause they
can't.
played.
Yeah.
like they always had a couple of white guys that came on, and it had a huge Hispanic. That base and
Yeah.
all the things, and he would get up on the ring and say, "You stupid Mexicans," and they'd be going, and people would be going nuts, And,
Yeah, I mean, it was heel heat. They do it
Yeah.
now, but now instead of like the sensitive subjects like that, they'll go like, "Oh, the Boston Celtics suck,"
Yeah.
and that's how they get around
Yes.
it. But I know what you're saying.
But
that-
but I mean, it was huge, and it was just a thing. 'Cause
Yeah.
afterwards, I'd run into half of them all be drunk.
Hanging out
at one of the
together.
bars we all go to. They were all drinking and all friends.
We'd be
But boy, on
helicoptering
there,
their wee-wee.
they're doing a job, man.
Oh yeah, they were doing the job. They did it well, and it had a huge following. I'm going to tell you, you couldn't get a ticket into All Star Wrestling.
Where was
What's
it?
All Star Wrestling?
Well, sometimes it got to where it was at the Municipal Auditorium.
Okay, which is
finally,
a fairly big.
yeah. I mean,
auditorium.
honestly, it wasn't one of these little things.
No,
you
like we go to
Yeah.
in the ballrooms.
Yeah, no. It was solid. They were making some decent money.
I'm sure. I mean, because back then there wasn't, like you said, a national product. You
No,
watched
yeah.
your wrestling.
Yeah, and so, I mean, it's just like I can't explain, but TV goes off at midnight.
Yeah.
Hell or fucking high water.
Just over.
Okay. Oh,
Just done.
Even if it wasn't done, it was just like
Oh yeah, they just kind of end it. The music would come on. They'd still be rolling around in the ring and shit.
until next time, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
That's mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, and then TV was that boom. It
Mind-boggling.
went straight to that ba 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 ba.
That's crazy.
That's
you know,
weird to think that they
and
played
then
that.
and then it was like, oh, just made that noise. That's it.
Oh, that was awesome.
So you turn that sumbitch off and went to bed.
Did you say you didn't say your favorite finishing move? Did you?
No.
So, like, I don't really have one because I don't think I really. I mean, like, I know that there's like the kiss of death, and
But you don't
I mean,
fully-
it'd probably be the RKO Randy Orton. But even then, what you said earlier was true. I don't really experience the finishing moves like maybe y'all did because it's not like the finishing move is the end of the match always.
Well, and I think there's a redundancy, right? So many guys use the spear. Roman uses the
Yeah.
spear. Jey Uso uses the spear. Goldberg had the spear. Edge uses the spear. Bobby Lashley uses
many
the spear.
spears.
Too many spears, man.
Yeah,
Some
too
Too many
fucking
people tackling
originality.
each other.
Yeah.
But you have Roman Reigns. He's got a Superman punch. You got LA Knight's got. He's got that thing where it's like a modified stunner.
But it's what I get what you say. It's not. Back in the day, it was sure death. It was
When
it.
you hit that was it. The crowd knew that
Nobody ever came back from those things. Like a sleeper hold. I can't remember who had the sleeper.
Yeah, but that was
that
it.
was actually somebody's hold at one point.
Yeah.
And if you got the sleeper and he got the sleeper put on you, you went to sleep and the match was over.
Yeah, because they probably teased it, right?
Yeah.
He didn't get it all the way.
Yeah.
And when he
Yeah.
finally got it locked in, it's
Yeah,
over.
when you got in, you were going. You figure four, that used to
That
be
was-
submission, and that
yeah.
was somebody's too.
Yeah.
Like I say, all those came from.
Yeah, they get
There
passed
wasn't
down.
like a spear for 12 guys.
Yeah.
You had to have your own deal.
Yeah, it's weird.
So some of them got stupid, sometimes.
And I wonder why that is. Why it becomes so generic and like everybody just wants to spear.
Lack of
Maybe because it's
creativity.
easy. It's an easy move.
I think that's what
What's your favorite match of all time, Lauren? That you've watched?
It would probably be the Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar where they lifted up the ring.
Oh, SummerSlam,
was-
where they use the tractor to
Yes.
lift it up. That was a cool match.
To my faves. Remember, I was wearing a Brock Lesnar flannel
Yes.
and a Roman Reigns T-shirt, and you told
Yes.
me you can't do that.
Yes,
you can't do
I
that. Lauren.
I don't like that. You have to choose a side.
Yeah.
You can't.
You got
And that's one thing y'all gonna learn when you watch wrestling with me. You got to pick. You got to choose your side and stick with your side and be a. You can be humble when you lose, but
No, if you don't have
you
a
gotta
side,
have a
it takes
guy.
the fun out of it.
Yeah. No, you can't walk on both
That's
sides
like
of the sidewalk.
watching a football game that you don't
I
really
hate
care
that.
which team wins.
I hate it.
Like when there's a Super Bowl, you got to try to find something to hang on to so you can at
Yeah.
least favor a team or it's not fun.
That's my problem with fantasy football.
Yeah. Well, yes.
It like I enjoy playing fantasy football, but I don't enjoy watching football anymore because almost inevitably you have a guy on each team, so you're like, well, I need this guy to score.
Guys playing your team that you love, but you need that running back to do really good.
Or it's what's worse is like if you're a Dolphins fan and the other guy has a Dolphins player,
Yes.
you're almost rooting against your own team.
True, true.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
What's your favorite match of all time?
Well, that's hard. I mean, because I go back so many years and the dementia's hitting me hard. So some of them may have never really happened.
That's true.
But, I may just be in my mind.
That's all right.
I think some of I would say that the collection of my favorite matches would be Stone Cold Steve Austin.
That
That came later, actually, which
Definitely.
is weird. I mean, that was
Yeah.
not like the old school, but that was back when you were a kid. I got back into it because you got
Yes.
into it. And, that was The Rock and Stone Cold. And remember, I had a fight with...
So that's I was about to bring that up.
I had a fight
I
with
thought that was going to be.
Gangrel.
I thought that was going to be your favorite match. It was.
Well, that probably was my favorite match because he wanted to fight me, and I was just telling him, like, come
So
on,
it
you
was,
piece of shit.
What's going on?
So this was the non-televised events,
Yeah.
just the live events
ones.
where they're a little more interactive with the crowd, and his voice. It cuts through a crowd of people, and we're about 5 to 8 rows back off the railing. And I believe
We weren't in the cheap seats. We were in
Oh
good
no!
seats,
You had us.
yeah.
You had it was me, you, and Nathan.
Yeah.
Right? We were down there on the about 8 rows back, and then there's a story to follow this up. But
Yeah, I know what it's going to be.
it was the Brood. These were vampires. Okay,
Okay.
and they wore like the full on vampire.
Like
clothes.
my jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Gangrel was kind of interacting with the crowd, and he got a little aggressive, and he starts
I was drinking a couple beers.
Starts chirping and saying some things, and you could feel the tone change. It went from
I
like
always kind of go after Gangrel's mother and stuff.
Yeah,
I get a little like
it went from like this is a wrestling show to like Gangrel was gonna meet him in the parking lot afterwards.
Yeah.
There was a definite like. And you could just, his voice cuts through. And so it would get quiet and he would say something. And you could just see like Gangrel tense up on the ropes.
Like he was going to fuck you up?
I'm going to go fuck this guy
But that's
up.
when
Gangrel?
I see that,
He was a vampire.
that gives me everything I want. The fact that I could affect him.
That was the problem.
That was like pouring gas on a fire
Yeah.
for me,
And I've been to enough wrestling shows so that people don't. I've been to wrestling shows and I can tell when a wrestler is playing into it. Like, because you get a guy who's going to go back and forth. He was like, literally,
he wanted to kill me.
There was
and
an
I wanted to
upsetness.
kill him too.
So then later in that
day,
night,
I thought I was tough back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
I was a fighter.
Yeah. So later that night, The Rock is in the main event. Okay. Look, I'm what? 10, 11?
Yeah, 10.
I'm so excited, right?
Yeah.
And The Rock was my guy. We're there. Rock's music. He hits, goes through his match. It's time for the people's elbow. We are dead square to where this people's elbow is happening. Okay?
Right in front of us.
Rock boom, hits his thing, reaches for the armband, pulls it off, heaves that son of a bitch in the crowd. It hits him in the head.
No, I get it.
No. It hits him in the head. He fumbles and catches it. And the lady behind him pours her beer on him. He drops it and she snatches that bitch.
Pulled
that
me
bitch.
backwards and stole the goddamn.
Nope. I would have been like, listen, you damn.
Well, I already had
See you next
Gangrel after
Tuesday.
me. I had a lot of irons in the fire that night.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there was like there was this level of like me and Nathan being slightly mad, but like it was
Also, he just got a
it was
beer
way too fucking funny to be upset about, and I think that the story ended up being better than having
would you still have it now?
Would have been had the thing and the story.
and I gotta tell you, I was prepared then later on because 10 years, 20 years later, me and Boo Man went to Monday Night Raw in Austin, and John Cena threw his shirt. And I learned, catch that bitch and tuck. I caught it and tucked it under.
But it's easier to tuck a shirt than a arm pad.
Well, it's also easier when you got Boo Man with you.
Yeah, but they're scrunchy and it was bouncing around and I was probably 10
See, I
beers
just needed
into
me
it.
there so then I could step in and say, listen, bitch.
Yeah, we did. Need
it all
that.
happened so fast.
Yeah,
because it was the last match of the night. That's the big finish, right? After that happens, people start like wandering
leaving.
out. He hits the pin. We don't know what's going on. Crowd screaming. It was a very interesting.
It was fun.
Fun time.
That was a very fun night. That
probably really started your deepness.
Definitely.
Because that was your first. I think that's the first one we ever went.
That's
to.
back when you're a kid and you don't understand that it's not on TV.
Yeah.
So everything that happened, and you're like, holy shit! Like, this is all. It's not even being televised. So they're talking to the crowd and fighting. It's the same as we went to one when Kylie was young. Last minute, we got front row tickets to a live event for like $200 each, and she got high-fived by Bray Wyatt. She got high-fived by Chris Jericho. Like the interaction, those are more fun now than going to the television events because they are so relaxed.
Well, they have to be staged. So
They can fall out of character and it's no big deal.
Yeah. See, that's where it was different in my day. They didn't have everything locked into time.
No. Yeah.
That's why most of the time it would go off the air and there was still
something going on. Well, that's AEW now. They fucking can't get their TV correct, and they'll go off.
Yeah,
and everybody's pissed off because
they're crazy because you don't know what the hell's going on.
That was a normal.
You can
deal.
watch it now on Dark.
AEW's in trouble right now. TNT, apparently, there's 3 people like in the bidding for Raw, and TNT is one of them.
Oh, really?
Which is where AEW is right now. So that means that negotiation's probably not going well. But after you have a match where people drink blood,
that's what I was thinking.
Feels like your TV partners aren't really
even if it's chicken
anymore.
blood.
No, he literally drank somebody's blood.
A piece of paper to the guy's face.
Yeah.
And then
Pulled
went
it off.
underneath him,
drank his blood,
and drank his blood.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was probably
thirsty,
vitamin E or something deficient.
No, that's no.
All right. Let's move on. All right. So this is a fun question. Who's the most? So I don't know if it's Randy Orton. Who's the most attractive wrestler to you?
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton. That's what I thought. I thought that a lot of that's based on that. Who's the most attractive wrestler? Now, you said something last night, and let's see if you did any research, or are you going to stick with what you said?
Well, I thought about it after you mentioned it. I don't know. I mean, it's hard for me to say.
I know you don't have enough.
But back in the day, women wrestlers were ugly when I was around.
I got you.
I mean, it was more like women wrestlers are midgets. You know, you had a lot of midgets. That was part of the regular wrestling. They'd roll the midgets in. You know, that was always part of every show.
Yeah.
You'd get a couple of midgets going.
Yeah.
But the midget women.
I don't know what that has to do with attractive
ugly.
wrestlers, but
well, because they're not very attractive midgets.
Okay.
You know.
Okay.
Never seen a midget that I wanted to date.
Okay. Who's the most attractive wrestler?
Somehow, you know, I like Stone Cold was probably the most attractive wrestler I thought that there ever was.
I thought it was going to be a woman.
Wait. Do you understand the question?
Well, I mean, I'm talking about he was a handsome kind of guy and everything. I mean,
So who's the most attractive woman wrestler?
oh, well, I see. I
This
say
is a
I
bit.
like Charlotte
This
Flair.
is a bit he's doing.
No, I like Charlotte Flair. This is not a bit. Stone Cold's a handsome man.
That man right there.
Oh, I look at that with
He's a
first
man's
of all,
man.
he's
I think-
drinking my beer.
So that's what it is. So now I
love
get it.
Coors Light.
I get it. He's drinking Coors Light.
I mean, he just kind of was my hero, you know? Look at those shoulders.
But you don't have to find your hero attractive.
Well,
I
so
do.
to me, attractiveness isn't just what they look like. Because, like, if I was looking for like the prettiest
Well, I don't wanna
attractive
hump
boy,
him.
it would have been
But I don't want to hump Charlotte Flair.
what's his name?
But nobody said humping.
I'm having a
Well,
brain
that's
fart.
attractive to me. He goes right to hump.
Straight to a hump.
You go right to hump when you go attractive. Yeah.
He had a show with Theory the other day, and Kevin Owens came on.
Grayson Waller?
Grayson Waller. I would say Grayson Waller.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, he's a doofy looking motherfucker. I'd go
Exactly.
Theory over
He's like
Waller.
the prettiest. I would say prettiest boy, but the most attractive to me would be
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton because he's like a
Because-
manly man.
But this is after that you said
you like that. You always like that dumb cousin look.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
I must have a thing for bald
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. What now? No, if it's a man, it's Stone Cold. Okay.
But I
A woman,
don't think you understood the assignment.
I did. The most attractive.
Yeah.
Stone Cold is an attractive man.
You said is?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he drinks Coors Light.
He's
I
a
mean,
manly
kinda-
man. Like, he's a man. Fucking
Yeah, and I
right.
just like the way he
Willis.
talks and everything. He's got that Broken Skull Ranch over
Exactly.
there and all
He's a
that
California boy now, isn't he?
shit. Yeah,
Fuck
he's a
California.
pussy. Yeah,
all about
he used to be
Texas.
down Victoria.
I turned both of y'all real quick on that one.
He's a pretty, he's a pretty boy. He's trying to act and stuff. But so honestly,
You
in
said Charlotte
today's
Flair,
world,
though.
I like Charlotte Flair. She's got that kind of old hoe MILF look, which at my age, that's where you're going.
He called her an old hoe milk.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought you would have liked, what's her name? Trish.
Trish Stratus.
She's
Closer
okay.
to your age.
She's pretty. She's
Yeah, I
like
don't-
fake
no,
pretty.
I like that old kind of
Time rock and roll.
look like old Flair's been around the park a couple
That's
times.
it.
You know?
That's
All right.
enough. That's
wait,
enough.
I have a question. Who's your most attractive wrestler,
Yeah,
Justin?
Yeah, don't just
Wait,
give
so
us the thing.
why do I get attitude? Because you know what I'm going to
No,
answer.
answer it, Dustin.
You answer it.
No, you answer it.
Becky,
Who?
whatever.
What?
Becky,
Becky Lynch?
yeah.
No. Bianca Belair.
Bianca Belair.
Yeah. You knew that.
I
I just wanted I needed the people to know this, Dustin.
The
She
people
doesn't-
know this.
She
Now
doesn't
they
do
know.
That's
that.
not an unknown
Now
thing.
you know.
She's what?
You know, that's just a.
I think Bianca
weak,
Belair's pretty, so
That's a weak one.
she's pretty.
I don't prefer an old, worn out hoe like you. Then I guess that's the issue.
You got to go with what bait you're using. It's like when you're fishing.
All
if
right.
you use worms, you're going to get one thing. You use shrimp, you're going to get something else. You use a live tadpole, you're getting better. Well, I'm kind of to the rate where I'm using old dead cut bait.
All right.
So I'm going to get the old hose and,
All right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean,
I think
all right.
I could still troll out. I think
Troll
on a good
out.
night, I could pick old Flair
Probably a
up.
reminder of her dad, though.
It's all right.
You have a lot of Ric Flair in you.
I like Ric Flair.
I know. Nothing
Ric
wrong
Flair
with Ric
is,
Flair.
Rick the Dick Flair. They used
Ric
to call
Flair's
him.
about to wrestle another match.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
70 years
Yeah,
old.
that's-
77
He's gonna have a
I
heart
like
attack.
that, though. I like
Why aren't you in the fucking ring? Let's get you in a match.
Well, I can't feel my whole right side right now. I mean, which would make me. I could be like the Robo guy.
Yeah.
You could stab me or whatever, and I just be going, keep going You're cut. No, I'm not. It's just blood.
All right, last question here for today is, what would your theme song be if you were a professional wrestler?
Well, I got two.
Okay. Hit us with it.
The more obvious one would be, I think, Born in the USA. You know, I'd come out and my Speedo was red, white, and blue Speedo.
Just straight
with
red-blooded
a star
American.
Right where my wiener is. You
Okay.
know? That's where
a
I want
lot
the
of
star.
information there, brother.
A big star, you know.
Big star. You need a big
star. Where, yeah, you can't. Yeah. But the other one would be Midnight at the Oasis.
Not familiar with that song.
Well, and I'd come out like a chic.
Okay.
Maria Muldaur.
I have no idea what
He's
that
saying
song
a lot of words that I don't know.
Send your camel to bed.
I was close. Sounded kind of like it, right?
Traces,
I have no clue what y'all
romance
talking about.
in the air.
I just made that up.
Need
So.
no harem, honey. When I'm by
What do
your
you think
side.
mine would be?
What would yours be?
Yeah.
I was just curious to see. I know what mine. I already picked it.
So it's going to be Britney Spears is where I'm going to
Correct.
go.
Ding, 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 ding.
More than likely.
I didn't know she did a song named More Than Likely.
No. I'm saying more than likely the artist is going to
Well,
be.
that's an old hoe MILF right there.
That's a crazy lady.
Yeah. Well,
Dancing with knives and shit.
I think if I was over at Vegas, I could pick her up.
You could pull
too.
that?
I could pull that.
You could pull that?
I could pull that
Britney,
train.
bitch.
You probably could.
I'd be
not lying.
talking shit about her mom.
So
and
Britney
dad when I
Spears.
was
Yeah.
whacking her.
I don't know.
What's
I'm not familiar. That new one. What's that new one that you like?
Mind your business,
Yeah,
bitch.
Mind Your Business, bitch.
Oh,
Yeah, that is one of my new favorite songs, even though you don't like it. But it's actually
There's
Britney
only
Spears
4 words in that
Circus.
song.
Britney Spears Circus, because all eyes would be on the ring in the middle of me,
in the
just
center of
like
the
a
ring,
circus.
just like a circus. Not bad. Not bad.
Got it.
Mine, I've always when you play wrestling
Class
video
Heroes.
games, it's what? No, it wouldn't. It wouldn't be Gym Class Heroes. See, I don't think that necessarily your favorite musicians make for the best theme songs.
Entry song, yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like a
too that just
I like there was 2. There's Rev Theory, Wanted Man. I've always liked that as a theme song, and Nico Vega, I think it's called America.
Nice.
But it's not like
wait.
what?
We're waiting for her. I know.
I already said it.
She
Britney
said
Spears,
Britney Spears.
Britney Spears Circus.
Oh, the circ. Okay, that is yours.
On the topic of music,
Yeah.
I want to collect vinyl records.
That's a big deal.
It's coming
Especially in
full-
Colombia, the country.
Really?
Oh, we went to this like drug lord type house that he had like maybe 25,000 vinyl records, and it was just in this big room, and then just right in the middle of the room was a turntable.
That's crazy.
You know, he got him, and when he got him, he had gloves on.
Oh, I'm not gonna do that. But
He's
like,
probably one of them motherfuckers. If you'd have touched him with your hands, they'd have cut you. You know.
All right.
I've just noticed like all the music I liked when I was younger, they're now re-releasing it all.
Well, vinyl's
On
big.
vinyls.
Well,
All right.
a lot of it started with your scratchers.
And I like your scratchers, your DJs.
Yeah.
I like a lot of the records now are like themed. So there's a Dr. Dre one that's like green. It's the Chronic album.
Oh, okay.
So they all have like, there's a Gym Class Heroes one that's silver. So they
They're
have like
colored.
cool looks.
They're pretty.
Yeah, I saw a whole thing on there's a real revival in vinyl.
There has to be because I keep on TikTok. That's all I get.
Well, and
now.
you also seen them start to sell a lot of.
and the record players now are like $34, and they come in a suitcase, and they're Bluetooth, and like so they're really cool.
Very nice.
This has been another episode of the Casual Wrestling Community Show. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel and share the episode with everybody you know. As always, I am the Notorious NerdyD. That is, what did we call you? The Loose Cannon LevelUp Lauren, the Legend Low T. Keep it casual, everybody.
Listening, I'm surrounded, just following an empty sound.